I'm Tristan Winder in the News 2 Alert Center with the Morning Pulse here on this August 26th of 2026. Specialized training and advanced forensics have uncovered a second victim and led to nearly 20 additional felony charges in an ongoing Western Nebraska child abuse investigation. Alliance Police arrested 46-year-old Daniel Carinas in May on multiple counts of first-degree sexual assault of a child. Investigators say that advanced forensic software was used to extract data from a hidden cell phone, uncovering child sexual abuse material and evidence involving a second minor victim. Based on digital evidence, Carinas now faces 17 additional felony counts, including 8 counts of creating or manufacturing child sexual abuse material and 9 counts of possession. Carinas is currently housed at the Scottsbluff County Jail. The Alliance Police Department is urging anyone with information on this case to reach out immediately. Plans to demolish a North Platte Entertainment Center prompted a proposal to keep the business alive. Yesterday, the city's Quality Growth Fund Committee reviewed $500,000 funding request to upgrade Wild Bill's wings and bowling. New ownership structures are hoping to reinvest in the facility to prevent it from being torn down.
A couple months ago, they received a pretty good offer throughout that, and it was going to be sold in a roundabout way. Gary kind of had a change of heart because it was found out that it's going to be demolished. We try to be subsectioned off and possibly fast food or whatever the investors were going to do with it.
Fund records do indicate that the city granted a $450,000 quality growth fund back in 2014 for the property, including a $350,000 loan that has since been fully repaid. Ultimately, the committee decided yesterday to table the request. First National Bank Omaha has announced a $25,000 impact grant for North Platte Habitat for Humanity. The funding will support the construction of affordable homes for low-income families. The award is part of more than $2 million in grants that FNBO is distributing to nearly 100 organizations across its 9-state footprint. As students settle back into the school year, one Lincoln County school district is seeing a major shift in how classrooms and hallways sound. It comes after administrators implemented a strict bell-to-bell personal electronic device ban.
This is putting social skills back in schools and really helping build that strong culture and climate where every student feels seen, they feel heard, they feel valued. So it's been such a great change. Really very little pushback from students because I think everybody's on the same playing field. No one has their phones, and so it's kind of an equal playing field for all.
Students and staff have reportedly already improved focus and deeper connections with peers both in and out of the classroom. Governor Jim Pillen has officially announced his running mate, naming current Lieutenant Governor Joe Kelly as his partner in their re-election campaign. But first, we need to get to details about flags flying at half-staff. This is in honor of the death yesterday of Dolly Parton, a country music icon passing away at 80. President Trump has ordered flags to be lowered. Governor Pillen has obviously echoed that request as well. Flags should be lowered through the 1st of September. Now to the re-election news that we teased a moment ago. Lieutenant Governor Joe Kelly is a Lexington native and has served with Governor Pillen since they were elected in 2022. Kelly also served as a criminal prosecutor and was elected as Lancaster County Attorney in 2010 and 2014, going on to serve under the federal government in 2018 as United States Attorney for Nebraska and later as Criminal Bureau Chief for the Nebraska Attorney General's office.
It's just been such a pleasure for us to work with you to this last 4 years, rekindling a lot of old relationships, making many, many new ones. Susie and I are really pleased and happy to serve another 4 years. Glad that you asked us and excited about what we can do.
Well, hi, everybody. Good morning to meteorologist Travis Klineski here on this Wednesday morning. We've made it to the halfway point of the week. It is August 26th of 2026 here, and It's just hard to believe we are less than a week away now from the beginning of September, and we move closer to the fall season here. But we've still got plenty of summer heat ahead of us in the days ahead here. But first off, a little fog this morning to start off with. We'll talk about the dense fog advisory that's in place until 9 o'clock this morning over southeast Nebraska and northeast Kansas. We have seen some isolated areas of some dense fog around Lincoln and Beatrice this morning. Hopefully that should burn off here. It doesn't look like it's something that's going to stick around terribly long, so by mid-morning most of it should be gone. We have had some showers and isolated thunderstorms out west this morning. That's something that Futurecast is not picking up on very well, but we do have a little activity right in here this morning, kind of these areas, west central, southwest Nebraska. That morning convection will slowly slip to the southeast. Then we'll look to the later portions of the day and some of those same areas for showers and thunderstorms, and there's a little bit more of a chance of some severe weather later on today. So isolated severe storms cannot be ruled out into the evening hours over west central and southwest Nebraska. Later in the night, that threat comes down, but we could see some isolated thunder showers into central areas as we head towards tomorrow morning. A couple of showers and isolated thunderstorms early, and then we'll focus again later in the day for a little more isolated severe thunderstorm chances over the western half of the area through the evening hours. Later in the night, once again, a few more showers and isolated thunderstorms a little farther east into early on Friday morning without much of a severe threat. So the severe threat's lower than it has been the last few days. Here we do have a marginal risk of severe storms over western and southwest Nebraska. Large hail damage and wind gusts look to be the primary threats. Higher threat over into Colorado. And then for tomorrow, west of Highway 183. So this is really the western half of the area under a marginal risk of severe storms for the late afternoon and evening hours. Once again, hail and wind the biggest threats. Then we'll look ahead to Friday for another small chance of a little severe weather near and north of Interstate 80 in central and north central Nebraska into northeast portions of Nebraska with that marginal risk of severe storms. Looking at it from a regional perspective, you can see that we're kind of on the edge of a better chance of severe weather over the high plains of Colorado off the Rockies there, and then also some higher slight risk chances there down to our southeast around Arkansas, and then also into parts of the southern Great Lakes where there's a slightly better chance of a couple of isolated tornadoes there. Tomorrow, we are kind of the target area for a low-end chance of a little severe weather over the western half of Nebraska. And then looking ahead to Friday, again, kind of the target area, low-end chance of some severe weather over eastern South Dakota, north central, and northeast portions of Nebraska. On to your high temperatures for today, which will be well into the 80s, mid to upper 80s, and a few low 90s in southwest Nebraska. So these temperatures are at or above average in most cases. Tonight we'll fall back into the mid 50s to mid 60s for lows. Should be a fairly pleasant night out there, especially in northern portions of Nebraska. We warm back up into the 80s tomorrow, nearing 90 again in southwest Nebraska. So again, these temperatures pretty close to, if not slightly above average. Looking at Thursday night into Friday morning, we're back down into the low and mid 60s. Friday, the heat starts to build in, especially out west. We're talking mid 80s to mid 90s for afternoon highs. Would not even rule out a couple of upper 90s out west. Friday night to Saturday morning, a warmer night, upper 60s and lower 70s for lows, and this will take us into some hotter weather for the weekend. Saturday, temperatures getting up into the upper 80s and low 90s out east, the rest of us into the 90s, and even a few low triple digits in west central and southwest Nebraska. So we're going to have plenty of heat ahead of us Saturday and again on Sunday. You can see those temperatures on the warm side the next few days. These small chances of rain and thunderstorms early tomorrow morning, again tomorrow evening and overnight tomorrow night, Friday night to Saturday morning, Saturday night to Sunday morning, Sunday night to Monday. You see how it is here. Isolated thunderstorm chances, nothing that really stands out as great chances right now. I would say that most of this time will likely be spent dry, but cannot rule out a chance almost every single day. Meanwhile, again, heat building in this weekend, back up into the low and mid 90s on Saturday and Sunday, and then we return to the 80s Monday and Tuesday. But even those 80s, those mid and upper 80s are still at or above average for the most part through the end of August into early September. We cool down slightly early next week. We may bump those temperatures back up just a little bit on Wednesday of next week, and then temperatures do look to slide back down towards the end of next week. In fact, there are maybe some signs of cooler air to come into Labor Day weekend. We'll talk about that in just a bit. North Platte, again, pretty much daily chances of rain and thunderstorms. We got the small chance this morning, another small chance later today and into tonight, and so on and so forth. Upper 80s the next couple of days, and then we are well into the 90s Friday, Saturday, and Sunday now. Mid to upper 90s, back to the upper 80s Monday and Tuesday. We'll cool down ever so slightly there, but then we're back up on Wednesday, a week from today, and then we start to sneak downward Thursday and into Friday. Maybe some signs of a cool down the road. We'll see. As of right now, the Climate Prediction Center does have that day 8 through 14 outlook, so that's next Wednesday through the following Tuesday. They do have us in the above average category, so even if we do cool down, it's probably going to be slight and probably not long lasting. Precipitation wise, we're looking still at some near to above average precipitation heading into early September, and this goes all the way through Labor Day weekend and even beyond just to the day after Labor Day there. So we could keep this somewhat wet weather pattern going here. I'm going to jump ahead and look at the European forecast model, and I'm just going to play it out very quickly. And you're going to see, again, nearly daily or nightly chances of rain and thunderstorms there. There's a lot of these are smaller chances, and this will continue right into most of next week. Meanwhile, here's the European or the GFS model, and again, nearly daily or nightly chances of rain and thunderstorms in our forecast. And some days maybe stand out as slightly better chances, but none of them are really just slam dunk guarantees for showers and thunderstorms. This right here will be interesting because that's a pretty powerful cold front that the GFS is alluding to coming through. That could make things kind of interesting. Of course, that is a week and a half away though. So with that, let's go ahead and look at the national picture. And you see the continued clockwise rotation over the desert southwest. As we get into later next week though, and I talked about this yesterday, we kind of get into the southwest flow, which is a lot different than the pattern we've been in. So now your rotation's right here. So earlier this week, for instance, we were kind of looking at the clockwise rotation here. Well, that shifts, that's high pressure, shifts towards the Gulf states and the Gulf of America there. And you got a deep trough digging into the west here, which would actually be more favorable for severe weather for our neck of the woods potentially here. GFS model. Again, I'll point it out right now. This is today. Here's your clockwise rotation, and then here is your jet stream. This is what we call northwest flow because the jet stream's moving in from the northwest. So then you get your counterclockwise rotation somewhere in here. But let's play this out and we'll look how things will change over the next week and a half. By the end of next week, there's your high pressure right there. Your jet stream is running roughly like that with some what looks to be some good Pacific moisture right there. That'll be interesting to see how things play out during that time frame. Signs of a cool down maybe pushing in from the northwest, and we'll see that. Let's see how the long-range models look when it comes to the temperature trends here. And again, we got plenty of warmth ahead of us here. That's not changing anytime soon. Slight cool down early next week. But again, European model hinting at more of a cool down as we get towards the end of next week. Here's the jet stream by that point right there. So the end of next week, heading towards Labor Day weekend. So that's the Saturday before Labor Day. First Husker game, by the way, is that day. Maybe some cool air to eventually come. Maybe not overhead on Saturday, but eventually to come. Let's look how the GFS looks when it comes to that long-range outlook. It's getting very warm over the next several days to come with the hottest weather, Friday through Sunday. And look at how big that push of cool air is right there. Your high pressure right there. So there's your jet stream. Big push of cool air coming next weekend if the GFS were to pan out. So both models are latching on to that, though, so there are hints that maybe a bit more of a cool down coming as we get towards the at least the second half of Labor Day weekend and maybe into the following week itself. Well, that is everything I have for you all for today, so thank you, everybody, for watching. I will be back with you on Thursday with all the latest. Take care, and God bless. Bye.